Hello, everyone. This is like the fourth video, I think, I've tried to record as like a hey guys, look, I'm back. And I keep failing. I keep failing every time because it's just, I always lose steam. I always lose motivation, like record, mid recording session. And I'm like, dude, I'm just waffling. I'm just saying nothing. And I realize that, I don't know, it doesn't need to be world shattering, world breaking news bullshit. It just has to be expression of some kind. Um, but whatever, it's always been a recurring issue for me. I always keep putting higher and higher expectations on myself and then realizing that I can't shape up and then thinking that it's a personal failing on my own part. And it partially is. But that's neither here nor there. This is fucking protein water. I've been exercising more. I've got a couple dumbbells doing push-ups and leg lifts and all that bullshit because I realized I may as well actually try to focus in on my physical fitness because I'm 21. This is supposed to be your physical prime around this age area, and I may as well build up a bit of muscle mass because I remember seeing a video from like some nurse, and he was talking about and he was saying like the number of people that they come across that are age like 65 and over that are just like slumped over dead on the toilet, or like they just die in their sleep because they just don't have enough muscle mass to keep themselves physically alive. It's like, and he's like, yeah, you'd really benefit from from building up muscle mass when you're younger so that you're not just keeling over and dying when you're in your 60s and 70s because your body physically can't sustain itself. So I'm like, I'm pretty weedy. So I may as well, build that up. But it's all a mind game, really, because I can physically do it. I actually, not to brag, not to slurp my own knob here, but it's like I actually do have a serviceable amount of physical strength. I actually can lift things. I actually can, physically do things. I am a somewhat agile individual. It's just, I think a lot of it's just the eating component and the mental health, no motivation component, where I can barely, do shit half the time. Sometimes. So a lot of the war is in the mind. If anything, I actually do enjoy physical fitness. I actually do. When I used to go to the gym, because I used to, I actually did enjoy it a lot. It was pretty good. And it is a good mental health tip. It's a great way to cheat your brain into thinking that you actually feel good. And not just on an accomplishment ego kind of level, just like literally like your brain just like secretes chemicals when you're doing strenuous exercise. Um, I don't know, as a reward mechanism. I couldn't even tell you, but it does. And if you really are feeling like shit and you're up to it, it actually is quite beneficial to just like do a bit of strenuous exercise because then it will. It's like when you inject a rat with chemicals. Like it doesn't know what the fuck's going on. It just feels things. It's kind of the same sort of thing. Um, so there's that. There's your mental health tip from 8 Ball. Today, well, not today. Yesterday, I came to a wondrous realization that two things can be true at the same time. And now this isn't a new discovery. I've actually been saying this for a long time, but I sort of learned that you can apply it broad scale to things. It doesn't just have to be, on a black and white kind of basis. You can kind of choose when you want two things to be true, somewhat. Because I mean, truth is objective. I remember I remember this from like one uni class I took. It was like, oh, truth is when reality matches up with belief or something like that. And it's like, yeah, I guess. Like, you don't have to fucking believe that the wall behind me is white because it objectively is white. It's not any other color. It's not like I can say, well, subjectively, I think it's beige. It's like, what the fuck? I don't know. Maybe unless there's like sunlight, a different shade of sunlight that changes. I don't even know. I don't even know. But whatever. I realized yesterday um, that if you know me personally in my personal life, you'll know that I'm a very opinionated music fan. You'll know that I have my fair share of bands I just don't like, you know. And for the longest time, I had been fighting fighting this internal war within myself as to whether or not I liked the Smashing Pumpkins. Because on one hand, you know, songs like Mayonnaise and Geek USA and, you know, 1979. I honestly, 1979, I've grown to not like, but when I first found that song, I really liked it because it was really cute and warm and super youthful. But now the song's been overdone so much, and now I can't stand listening to it because I've seen so many just people on the internet like making videos of bullshit with that song. But whatever, that's besides the point. The point is there were a couple of Smashing Pumpkins songs that I liked, but I didn't like the band, and I especially found Billy Corgan to be quite an abrasive individual, and I feel like a lot of people would agree with that sentiment. And for so long, I walked around saying, "Ah, I don't really like the Pumpkins. I don't really like the Pumpkins," and I would sum it up to basically being, I think, oh, the reason I don't like the Pumpkins is because I think Billy Corgan is a pretentious knob, you know. But then, you know, the other day I was like, fuck it. I was like, I want to listen to music that I don't really listen to that often. And I saw that I had CME's Dream saved because, again, I really liked the song Mayonnaise. That song, for the longest time, I was like, okay, that's like a guilty pleasure. Mayonnaise is a guilty pleasure song because it is really good. And I listened through to the whole album and I was like, oh my God, do I have to admit that they were really good? Do I have to admit that I like it? And it was this back and forth with myself. No one was even involved. It was just me just thinking. I was like, oh my God, I spent, you know, months to years shit talking Billy Corgan saying I'm not that big on the Pumpkins, blah, 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 blah. You know, I remember I got a close friend and he dated this girl. She was absolutely insane. And not as in like, oh dude, she was crazy. Like honest to God, like serious mental disorders kind of person, right? Not trying to be mean, right? I couldn't. It would be hypocritical of me. But this girl was quite something. And I remember my friend telling me like, yeah, and her favorite band was the Smashing Pumpkins. I'm like, yeah, typical fucking Pumpkins fan. Checks out, right? And now I have to sit here and now I have to 180 and admit that I like them? Like what? You know, I'd spent so much time building this band up as something that I didn't like. And then I'd listen to CME's Dream, and I listened to Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, and I listened to Pisces Iscariot, and I listened to a little bit of Gish, and I was like, fuck, they're good. At the very least, their first four albums are good. At the very least, because I listened to their shit that they released like in the 2010s and their most recent album, fucking that the one with the organ. It came out this year, and that it all kind of sucks. I won't lie. So I can still say that their new stuff is not good. But that first four albums, god damn it, if that isn't good music. And I realized, right, I'm just gonna show it to you now. I bought this yesterday because I hate to admit it, it's a really good album, CME's Dream. If you're gonna listen to any Pumpkins album, I would say listen to CME's Dream. That's got some real heartfelt shit in it, you know. And I realized, like, wait, I can both say that I don't like Billy Corgan and I can listen to the Pumpkins and I can distinguish the two because I was so hesitant to say that I liked the Pumpkins. I was so hesitant to actually enjoy the music and buy the CDs and engage with the art. Because in a way, if I admitted that I liked the music, it meant proving Billy Corgan was right. It meant say if I said this is good art, that would also mean you know, validating Billy Corgan's opinion of himself. And that was just something that I didn't want to do. I was like, absolutely not. He's such a knob. I don't want to prove him right. I don't want to call Billy Corgan a good guitarist because Billy Corgan's favorite guitarist is Billy Corgan, you know? I feel like I'm saying his name too much. If I say Billy Corgan another 5 times, he's going to appear in my room and he's going to beat me over the head with a guitar or something. He's going to call me a bad guitarist and he's going to he's going to shit talk me on another podcast, you know? But like, it's just, he's been such an unlikable person for so long, and he thinks he's God's gift to music. And I didn't, even though I've never met the guy personally, and I probably never will, just admitting that damn it, he did make good art. It was like, oh no, I don't want to admit that because then that proves him right. That falls right into his trap, and then I can see his smug little face, sitting there, being like, yeah, I told you I was good. I told you I was good. And I'm like, I guess. But if you think about it statistically, especially in regards to the earlier albums, you know, Billy Corgan is only one pumpkin out of four, really. There are four Smashing Pumpkins. There's Billy, Darcy, I forget the name of the other two, but there's the drummer and the Asian guy. And they kicked out Darcy. I don't know why. All I know is that now there's three pumpkins, but there used to be four, which means that statistically you're appreciating more non-Billy than you are appreciating Billy. If you're getting really scientific about it, if you want to get mathematical. And all of this is a big coping mechanism on my part to listen to the Smashing Pumpkins and not feel like I'm, you know, stroking another dude's ego that I really don't like. But maybe it's my ego that needs to be checked. Maybe it's me that just needs to sit there and admit that I just actually do enjoy music. I don't know. It's I don't know. I feel like this is such a small achievement for myself, but I wanted to share it with the world, because maybe it encourages someone else to listen to the Smashing Pumpkins without admitting that they like Billy Corgan, you know, or you know, more accurately, to not like Billy Corgan and still listen to the Smashing Pumpkins because it actually, at least their first four albums are pretty decent, and to not feel that guilt, you know, to not feel like, oh, you know, because I've looked at their Reddit before, and most of the Reddit is people saying, yeah, I love the Smashing Pumpkins. They were a big part of my adolescence. You know, I've never connected with another band as much as I connect with the Pumpkins. But God, Billy Corgan is so unlikable. Like half of the posts you see on that Reddit is just people saying, I love this band so much. They're so near and dear to my heart, but I can't stand Billy Corgan. Like, it's such a common sentiment you see. So, you know, you and I aren't alone in the Smashing Pumpkins fan Billy Corgan haters club, you know. That's just the way it is, you know. And I also realized that I had been listening to music from like way worse people morally, um, just without any issue. Like I'd been listening to like Dissection and like Led Zeppelin and like The Doors, you know, all that shit from like people that are kind of just as obnoxious and morally worse than Billy Corgan. But I was like, oh no, I can't support Billy. And I realized that I was kind of being a bit of a hypocrite, you know, especially in regards to Dissection. Like the guy from Dissection straight up murdered someone and went to prison for it. And I'm out here being like, yeah, man, Dissection, good band. Good first two albums, but I can't listen to the Pumpkins because Billy Corgan's a bit obnoxious. Like, what? You know? So I kind of had to fix that personality trait. And Led Zeppelin, you know, those guys were, you know, John Bonham. Actually, not John Bonham. I mean, he was a turbo alcoholic, but like that's just a him thing, you know. Mainly Jimmy Page. Jimmy Page was not a good person at all. He was like a turbo creep, and like he ripped off a lot of people, you know. And I still publicly listen to Led Zeppelin. I still own their first four albums on CD, you know. And I'm out here like, yeah, man, you know, bad people make good music sometimes. And then again, I was like being like, oh no, Billy Corgan and the Pumpkins, get them out of here, you know? So I'm glad that I've grown as a person over the last week, you know? I'm happy that this has occurred. Anyway, Tell me what you think about the Smashing Pumpkins, if you want.